Yo, what's happening, family? So as you can see, I'm in another part of the casita today. We have the altar behind me. This past weekend, my family and I celebrated Dia de los Muertos, and one of the things that my wife does every year is she sets up this beautiful altar that has photos of our family members who have passed on. And it's a beautiful tradition that we set up a few years back, especially with the birth of our daughter. And we went to Hollywood Forever, which is a cemetery out here in Los Angeles. And I know that sounds a little bit creepy, but it's a poppin' event. We went out and we saw all these beautiful altars that families created for their loved ones. And while I was there, I started to understand and see how beautiful our cultures are. It was so amazing to see my daughter loving the energy while we were there. Dia de los Muertos was not a super important thing to me growing up, but as a father, man, I love it. And I think that when it comes to sourcing inspiration, it's really important for you as an individual to find uniquely what inspires you in order for you to create original work, content that you put out in the world. Because what I find with up-and-coming designers or aspiring designers is that they mimic and copy every other designer's point of view and reference point, to the point that they're basically coming up with work that's already been done. They will look at a portfolio, they will look at an illustration, or a style for photography, and they'll copycat that style while not coming up with their own unique perspective. And I think that when you're copycatting and copying the next designer's greatness, you will never find your unique greatness. There is a seat that is waiting for you and only you, but instead you want to sit in somebody else's seat without reaching for your own greatness, right? So in this video, I want to share with you my philosophy when it comes to sourcing that greatness. I was reminded of the greatness of my ancestors, right? They went through so many challenges, but yet these temples still stand, right? My mom, when she was raising me, she would take me to these Mayan temples, and she would take me to, all these temples in the Yucatan, like Chichen Itza, right? And I was always enamored with those places, right? And now I have, I'll make another video about this, but I buy these little statues, that remind me of some of those younger years. I'm heavily inspired by those things because I find that culture and that time period was amazing, man. When I look at the beautiful works of art from that period, I'm just like, yo, I don't know who the artisans were, I don't know who the artists were, I don't know who the architects were, I don't know their names, but whatever they sourced that inspiration from. And then I also studied, when I was growing up, beautiful works of art like the Sistine Chapel, right? And heard the names of Michelangelo, studied that history, and I could see that I started to see all the names. And when it came to the peoples of my lands, the names got erased. And I also see the same thing happening today, where people of color produce great works of art or great work, and it doesn't want to get recognized. So that history still has repeated itself. But I think that when it comes to the work that I produce, when it comes to whatever I create, I am inspired by the resilience of my ancestors, whether that came from prehistoric times or even my family members who have passed on. Sometimes the same things happen to them. They did amazing things and their names never got recognized, right? And sometimes that has happened in my life, and I still push forward when it comes to my design work, when it comes to illustration work, when it comes to my content that I produce on YouTube, whatever. I still carry on that spirit of resilience. I speak on things that normally don't get spoken about, right? And I see that when you do that, you're creating your own lane. There is no competition, right? When you embrace your culture, your traditions, and give your unique perspective, based on the time period that we're living in now, you start to see that there is a seat that is meant for you and only you. So I would challenge you to embrace your culture, embrace some of your traditions, and bring that to the forefront of your work in some way, whether that be illustration work, whether it be photography. There is a motif that you can get inspired by, and you can combine that with some of the design philosophies that are embraced today, like, you know, Swiss typography, or whatever it is, AI, you know, 3D rendering, whatever it is. You can combine that with the technology of today to create something that's original, right? Or, you know, use that as a way for you to stand out when it comes to putting yourself out there. So I challenge you to do that, because when you start to do that, you start to see, like, yo, there is this lane that I'm creating, and when you push forward on that and step on the gas, there's no telling where you could go, right? And that's how you inspire the next generation. So anyways, guys, man, my content been killing, man. My words been killing. I'm speaking from the spirit. I'm speaking from the spirit. I'm speaking from the ancestors, man. The ancestors, they got my heart this time. So anyways, guys, if this video hit, you already know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.